one of the, I think, keys to our success early on was the development of what we call the implementation blueprint. And this is a freely available tool. We're actually revising it now, moving into its 4th version of it. But it walks through this process of installation. It's really the implementation science work related to getting the systems in place to support school teams and then classroom educators doing it. And we know that it starts with teaming. And teams at those systemic levels, when we think about district or region or state, they're a little varied. They're not quite as easy to tell as sort of like a school team where you have the administrator and you have a lead teacher and you have, a representative team. So sometimes it's one core implementation team that has a steering committee or whatever it is. But teaming, having a team that reports to the cabinet and does that work is really, really key. And it's something that I think, in talking way back in the day with Dean about this, that one of the big problems in sort of higher level education systems, meaning, executive level, is they never get feedback on how their decisions affect outcomes. And so if you never get feedback on how decisions make outcomes, then you either make decisions that are random, or you make decisions that fit your particular day or your particular needs, instead of saying, oh my gosh, this thing that we're doing is actually changing these outcomes, or this policy that we put into place is actually harming more students, even though we intended it to work better. And so that feedback is key. But the 4 things that we have in these sort of higher level, we call them executive functions for that team to be able to do. One is stakeholder engagement. So being connected to the people for whom the systems are supposed to be working. The second is funding and alignment. So ensuring that there are resources available, but also that the work that's being done in PBIS is not done in a silo, but is connected to academic support, is connected to social emotional learning, is connected to school climate and equity efforts. Instead of saying, we're the school climate people, we're the equity people, we're the academic people, because I know as a classroom teacher, I don't say, okay, I'm only going to teach the social emotional part of my students for the next 45 minutes, and then I'm only going to teach the academic part of my students. They're all of our students. So, every classroom teacher knows they have to integrate the stuff that comes down from on high. So we might as well help people by showing how these fit together, eliminating conflicts and helping people see how this fits into coherent whole. That also connects with policy and embedding the work into policy. So those ones are a little bit overlapping. And then the last one is workforce capacity. How do we ensure when we do this work that we've got the people with the right skills to be able to do it? And that's when I think about the driver work in terms of that you've got people who come in with the skills, or you've got systems to be able to train people up, and you've got those hiring practices that are really helpful to make sure you either hire people who have the skills that you need to make sure that PBIS works, or are sort of willing to learn and have enough of the foundational stuff that they say, I get implementation. This is an innovation that we're doing, within that approach.